Hey guys, welcome to Lincoln County Podcast. We are super excited. Today is a special episode and we're ready to kick this off. But before we do, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, and support our sponsors. Without them, we would not have this podcast. So please take a minute to show them some love for them giving back to Lincoln County and helping us with this. So day's a little bit different. I do have my co-host today. Introduce yourself.
I'm Kendal Mosier.
So we're going by Mosier. We're not going by your artistic pen name.
K-Mos.
K-Mo, yeah, okay. She's going to be helping me today, so we're going to try to not step on each other today, and wanted to do this for fun this summer, her co-host a few. So we're going to turn it over to our guest here and get going. How's it going today, guys?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
I'm Nick. This is Rachel. We're the Jacopellis.
Yeah.
If you want to know our last name, you do have to. Nick and Rachel's just fine. We own HoneyBadger Grill in Troy. We're at 10 Oakley Plaza. We're in the same plaza with Matt's Taekwondo Academy. And we serve good food.
Hopefully good food. I think it's pretty good.
Yes, you serve good food.
Yeah, we've been there for about 5 years, and we love the community and love everybody that comes in and frequent flyers that come in. But yeah, we're here hanging out with you guys today.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in. And, you know, we've talked about this before, but you guys have always been big at giving back. And that was like when I started out here and then started kind of growing and stuff, you guys were one of them that I looked at when I looked at different businesses and what they were doing. And I think we all have those businesses we watch, but that was kind of the big thing in this community was all the giving back and everything. And you guys have always done so much of that. And with the different programs, your different events, you've got something coming up, right?
We do, yeah. August 11th is a Sunday. We're doing a poker tournament for Divine Nest. So every year, I think for the past 3 years, we've done a toy drive one way or another to support various places that are trying to do toy drives for Christmas. So last year we partnered with Divine Nest. They do theirs a little differently. They do is it like a Christmas shop?
Yeah, it's a cheap Christmas shop. It's actually free for the foster families. They get to come in and adoptive families. They get to come in with or without their kids, however they want to do it, and they get to shop 5-6 items each for the kids so that they have something good underneath the Christmas tree. And it's all new toys. It's local families. It's doesn't stay out of leave Lincoln County. But yeah, it's a good organization. If you guys haven't checked them out, it's Divine Nest, and they are based out of North Road.
Yep.
Yeah, when I went to their gala, I'm saying that right, event, I sat around with several families from there and learned so much. Like they told me they'll get a phone call at 3 a.m. You got a baby. Yeah. That's what the book bags and all that come in. And I was just in awe. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, they do.
Having a baby's rough when you plan it out for 9 months. You guys just get a phone call. They're like, oh yeah, we might get a call. There's a baby available. And we get up and go get it. I'm like, you just go get it, huh?
Right.
Wow. That's not like bringing a puppy home. Like I was completely floored at what I thought I knew about the foster and adopting process and what it actually is and what those people really do. It's not that they're affluent and can just afford to do this stuff. It's that there's a spot in their heart to do it.
Yes.
It was wild.
The first night bag thing they do is so cool. Cause
yes.
Like you said, they might get a call at 3 a.m. that they're getting a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, whatever.
Yep.
And so the house probably isn't set up. They probably don't have any of the stuff they need. And so if it's 3 a.m, they would much rather you be able to go pick up the kid that you're going to foster, and then they have a first night bag that's already set up, for various age groups. And I think they have them set up like, okay, if you're getting a 3-year-old, you're going to need, this kind of stuff. And they have it all set up for you to get when you have them for the first night.
Yeah, it blew me away when the people at the table all were foster parents and were kind of breaking that down to me. I was like,
yeah, when we did the, so LBB actually, Little Black Book, it's an organization here in Lincoln County as well that we partner with them to do the toy drive, but we were doing the gift wrapping for Divine Nest and got to talk to all the parents, foster parents, adoptive parents and everything. And it's amazing what they're not allowed to bring. So the kid gets taken from their home for whatever reason. They're actually told not to bring book bags, shoes,
just
they
go.
Literally the clothes on their back. And sometimes they aren't even allowed to bring that. So it's a little weird. Not that they're going naked or anything, but they have to give them new clothes or whatever right there on the spot for whatever reasons, reasons or whatever. So they literally are coming with nothing. So to be able to give them a Christmas that is somewhat enjoyable or even
Normal.
better, normal. What we all deem as normal to them might be first time they've had a Christmas. So it's a nice way to give back. So we're doing the poker tournament. No professionals are coming to the poker tournament. It is a lot of people that sometimes first time playing poker that they get to go, you play a few rounds, you win, you lose, but you're there just for the fun and the camaraderie.
Well, you guys have always had a great turnout with that event. That's one thing I've always seen on your page. It's a really good event for you guys. So we'll make sure to post about that and share that, and we'll kind of dive into talking about the food a little bit. So there was an epiphany at the dojo the other night when somebody switched her order a little bit. So what was it you got the other night that was so good?
I got the angry tacos, I'm a pretty picky eater, so usually I just get the same thing every single time. So I got like a burger.
Single no cheese, plain at mayo.
Extra. She sits there and eats that thing with that saucer of mayo on it, and we gag.
And it's also I feel
I gag it with it too. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but I ordered that forever because it's in the same plaza as Boyer, and I don't want to drive all the way to Troy and get whatever, and it's usually pretty fast, and I just order ahead. So I got the burger forever, and then a few weeks ago, I was like, I eat here so much, I just need to try something different. I tried the pulled pork sandwich a while ago, but my dad smokes a lot of meat, and I was like, I need to try something different. So I tried tacos, which you might have my order memorized by now, because I changed a few things up.
The best part is her looking at all of us going, why didn't you guys tell me a good time? I was like, we tell you everything's good.
No.
Duh.
But I feel like I wasted so much time. I was like, I could have gotten these tacos for the past 3 years.
It was a whole thing. I was in tears. It was a whole thing at the dojo.
No, they were so good though. And I get to them just the perfect amount. And they had vegetables on them, pico and lettuce. And I felt just so healthy. The pico with the tacos, and then go do practice. I was like,
well, if you like that, you should try the chicken tacos then.
I was gonna say I'm gonna start trying.
You gotta get real brave. Start venturing out.
Yeah,
I'm the same way though. I'm a habit or creature habit. Is that what it's?
For sure.
Very much a creature habit, and everybody knows me. When Nick goes, "What are we doing for special today?" He knows what my go-to answer is because I like
buffalo chicken tacos.
And I'm like, let's do buffalo chicken tacos today. Okay, you're not allowed to do special thing more because that's all I ever want to do is buffalo chicken tacos. So if you ever see that on the special, that's because of me, probably. So yeah, well, good. I'm glad you try new things. We'd like to switch it up as well. As you know, we do a daily special and try to give people an opportunity to get something outside the norm.
Yeah, and that's kind of when developing the menu kind of came in with the daily specials. Is if we go out to eat, I'm fine going to if she likes the same thing from a lot of. If we go somewhere, she has one staple.
That's me. That's how I am too.
Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden, any of those things. Well, if I go, I try to get something different every time I go. So when I was trying to make the menu, I was like, okay, I like this from this place. I like this from this place. Let's see if we can mix and match some stuff and make it good. And then with the daily specials, I really just try to figure out something, that I think people will like generally that we could maybe sell a lot of.
Your creativity with the daily specials is impressive. And
awesome.
And your dedication to making sure it's posted everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, it works. There's times that I'm like, I'm kind of hungry, and that looks really good. And even if it's not what I get, because I normally chicken out and go back to my regular.
Yeah, you do.
But it works. But the creativity behind it and the different ideas is amazing. And I like what you said there, kind of when you're building the menu, because I've had friends ask, or people be in town visit school, they're like, what got there? I'm like, if you can't find something there, there's something wrong with you, because there's burgers, there's grilled cheese, there's pulled pork. There's such a mix that you're kind of getting everybody.
Well, and that's kind of what we thought too. We originally, when we did the menu, we did a Badger Bowl, and it was a set for veggies and rice and nothing else, so you can get added or take away stuff. But there were so many people coming in can I add this? Can I do this? So we came up with, let's do a Build-A-Bowl instead of the Badger Bowl. That way people can get exactly what they want.
That's probably been big for you.
3 or 4 different bases.
Yeah.
3 different bases. And
I think you can customize it a couple hundred different ways.
I was going to say, you can load that bad boy up.
Kind of unlimited, really, yeah.
Yeah, so if you can't find a way to make a bowl full of your favorite foods, then yeah, like you said, there's something wrong with you.
The only is just like steaks and pasta. Like sometimes people go out and that's what they want. And,
Yeah.
if that's what they went out for and they just happen to come by our place and they don't want to eat there, like that's no hard feelings. I get it, but at the same time, I feel like you should be able to find something.
There's a good assortment for no matter what you're kind of wanting. Like, if you're like, I think I just want chicken, you got chicken. Like there's a great assortment of it. And like we've talked before, the consistency on everything is like how you guys did. They say in order to grow and to have big, the consistency is king, like
Right.
as you do different things. And that is so hard to do. And I've never, ever like the consistency is always just dead on.
Well, and that has a lot to do with our employees too. I mean, we've been able to keep a handful of employees throughout the 5 years we've been there, and they are great about knowing what we want and how we want it done. And it's good that we can be here and they're still working and they know that they have to make sure the quality is there, and hopefully nothing goes wrong while we're gone. But
it's hard in this climate of like you have to mix it up. You can't let your menu get stale. Can't try to do the same thing every day, every single time, and then you have to be consistent with it, because that's this climate of, if I have a bad meal, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to tell everybody I know that I had one bad meal from this place, this one bad time, and I'm never going to go back.
Yep.
But I'm going to sit in the McDonald's drive-thru line every other day and get the same thing that they might mess up every single time, but I'll still go back. Being a small, locally owned restaurant, probably the hardest thing is customer retention.
Yes.
For sure. And you have to hit it, you have to knock it out of the park the first time they come in, or they might not come back.
I am Julie Forster with Crafty Midwestern Mommy, your local boutique embroidery and fabric store. I sell fabric as well as sewing notions and also teach classes. And then we also, on the other side of our business, do machine embroidery, custom apparel for local businesses, and just personalized gifts. Again, the store's name is Crafty Midwestern Mommy, and that's how you can find us on all social media platforms as well as our website.
Yeah, it's really weird how our brains have kind of adapted to that, and the days of, well, you go to Denny's for this, or you go to this place for this, or you go to this place for this. But when it does come to the smaller businesses, how hard they hit, or how, some people try to really leverage that. I've had customers pull stuff with paint jobs or different things. That's the first thing out of their mouth is, well, I'll give a bad review. And it's like, yeah, now you're extorting me because you're wanting a $10,000 paint job for free over a bad to write your bad review. I'll give you a pen, go for it. But we're in that day and age, like you said, like how did Andy Frischella talks about this a lot, that people can in an instant tell 1,000 friends exactly what they think of something if you don't nail it the first time.
And you have to hope that it's not the first thing somebody sees, because that's the other thing, like the swipe nature now is there's a chance that it might not get seen at all.
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're hoping for. Because you might refresh the We Love Troy, Missouri page, you'll see one post, you might see 15 other ones on top of it, and you're not going to scroll down to find 15 or 16. You might look at the first three, and then a squirrel comes across the street, you can move on to something else. So that's really what you hope for, is that that every bad review is countered by, I don't know, a few hundred 5-star reviews.
Oh, for sure. Well, and you guys, I've noticed in the past, and we've had this too, where your loyal client base too will jump in and say no. They'll jump in the comments and say it, be like, no, that's not how this flies. I've had people try that, make accusations about a paint job or something, and clients I've worked for forever were like, what's wrong with you? Because Matt was at our house yesterday. It didn't go like that at all. Or this company's terrible, blah, blah, blah. They're like, really? Someone posted that the one time. Someone was mad at me over COVID stuff. And somebody was like, well, here's a picture of him with an award for everything he does for the community. I don't think he wants everyone to die. I think you're a little rough. Someone put that on there. Like I wanted to kill kids because I wouldn't give them a bid because I said I don't like to wear a COVID mask. I say it's no problem. There's other companies that will. I'm just not interested. And the guy posted that, and someone was like, well, and here he is working with kids. I think you're a little off. I was like, yeah, give that guy a free paint job.
We had a similar situation where somebody, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was somebody just posting, the food was good, but for $25 per person. And I'm thinking,
how much food
what did you
order?
order that you're doing $25? Because we're not that expensive. And then I'm like, okay, not gonna say nothing, because I'm like, I really want to know what he ordered, but I'm not gonna say nothing. And everybody started commenting. I just went there with my 5 people, and we spent like $60. So how did you spend $25 on food for each person? Yeah. So they must have been hungry that day.
Well, you got some people that are just professionals at it. When I worked at Jiffy Lube, flat out, if a customer came in with anything, we were to give them their money back, give them coupons for free stuff, everything. And it was one of the things that I vowed to not do when I had my own business, and that was because they didn't stand up for us at all. They literally just whatever the customer wants, give it to them. And I get it with the volume and the size they're playing at, but as a small business, you can't do that.
Right.
It's just not feasible. There's a lot of the coaches out there to preach it, but it's just not. It just doesn't work that way. But that's what's lucky. Like at the dojo, we give them a free T-shirt or something. We rarely have any issues like that up there because we're all like right there together. Yeah. It's different.
And that's the other thing. Either me or Rachel are there from open to close. One of us, except for right now. But for the most part, we're there open to close. And kind of the biggest thing with being a small business is like if you can just take care of the problem on the spot.
Yep.
And that also comes with the customer needs to present the problem on the spot too. If they get mad by the time they get home and then they want to do something about it, then a lot of times it's too late.
Yeah.
Or they can call and we can look it up and we can we'll still fix it.
Yeah.
We just would much rather fix it on the spot when we have the best chance to remake your food the right way, let you get the best HoneyBadger experience that you can while you're there, instead of being mad about it a day, 2 days, a week later, whatever.
I do that with tournaments. I'm like, hey guys, did you see what I got out back? And they're like, the work van. I'm like, yeah, it's not a time machine. So if you're upset at the tournament and you don't understand a scoring, come get one of us because I can't go back.
Yeah.
So when you come in on Tuesday and you're like, wow, this ring went like this, not a thing we can do about it. And I that has been like, that's one thing you got that people, have a paint job and we painted for a guy and like 6 months later he's like, just so you know, they didn't sweep up very good. I'm like, I checked the calendar. I'm like, were we there? We weren't at his time. He's like, well, I just figured you need to know that. I'm like, bro, I need to know that 6 months ago when they were there so I could have had your house cleaned. Like I could have, what do you want me to, well, we cleaned it up. Well, I would hope so. It was in 6 months. Like, he's a great dude. He was just trying to help me out, but I was like, oh, I wish you told me that when they were there. I didn't, I'm sorry.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I couldn't do anything. It was super awkward. And I really liked the person. I was like, I'm sorry. I appreciate you letting me know now. Yeah. Like those guys don't even work here anymore. So
thankfully we don't get a lot of, it's really hard because 1 out of 1,000 people might say something. And those are what sticks to you the most because, you get a lot of compliments, but that one, hey, my burger, it just was okay. And that's like, okay, what did I do? Who cooked it that day? What? It's like, okay.
I don't want anybody's food to just be okay.
Yeah, we want to be excellent every time. And,
Or I want to have screwed it up royally to the point where I knew I messed it up.
Yeah. Well, and you're selling the experience too of the food, the flavor, everything in it. And I think people don't realize this with a lot of people in business. Like for me, I don't care if you think your cut-in lines are straight. Like I like it when someone comes in and is just blown away by they're gone at work, they come in the house a new color and it's fresh. Like I enjoy that part of it more than the check and more than them being like, oh, the lines are really straight. Like I enjoy that wow factor at the end. Like I that's just like such an endorphin rush. Yeah. And with you, it's same thing. People like, oh, this meal was great. Oh, this tastes so good. Like I think that's what, when it comes, I've heard people describe that before. That's what it's like with them for food.
Well, and I'll say, you did our house and stuff, and joking around, we had somebody mess up our wall and had repainted. But anyway, I go in there, and honestly, I'm one of those people that see it like a mark on the wall or whatever. Mm-hmm. I actually do go in my living room every once in a while and be like, I really like how it's great, everything. And then I go to a place downstairs where I painted, and I'm like, I need to have Matt come and paint my basement because I am not the straight line perfect person. So it's better to get the compliments, but that one,
it's the one you enjoy, but the bad ones do stick with you, or the ones that try to pull. You got those people that are professionals at it. But what was it that kind of drove you guys to get into the food?
Next
question's on you.
It was so it would have been 6 years ago, I guess. Rachel had a regular 9-to-5 job. She worked for Equifax. She was a financial analyst, and it was a paperwork type job. you know, in the
Hour there,
office.
hour back.
Yeah,
and
hour drive to
working
work.
That's
60.
right. Yeah.
Hour drive home, working 60, 70, 80 hours, whatever the job required at the time. And I just had a regular day job. I ran a route for a car company. So I could get off by I was off by like 2 or 3 every day. So I'd come home, I could get our son ready to practice or wherever he needed to be. And she was kind of really fed up with the bureaucracy, I guess, of working for a large company.
Corporate, yeah.
'Cause you get lost in the shuffle. She started there, it was a tiny company when she started there, and they got bought out by Equifax. And so you just kind of get folded into their envelope and just nothing's the same. And so, you know, she had gotten kind of tired with the BS at that point, and we were trying to find, you know, something else that we both wanted to do.
And at the time, you were really, really into cooking.
Yeah,
and I was not. But I really like the business aspect of everything. And numbers has always been my thing. Even when I was in grade school, I just like to mess with numbers, and which is why I became a financial analyst and wanted to do something business related. And at the time, your passion was cooking.
Right.
It was everything on the smoker, everything you can think of was you were creating something new.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do we both love to do? What can we do? We're not going to just create some kind of business that we have no knowledge of or anything like that. And so we...
Funny story, you couldn't pay me to cook in our kitchen now.
No.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
small,
He doesn't
none of the
cook
right
at all.
stuff's there. I hate cooking at the house.
I'm the cook now, and I don't do any business because I don't have time.
So we kind of kicked around an idea about maybe, you know, catering, something like that, something, you know, maybe just do it on the weekends or something like that. And that has its own kind of positive, negative aspects. And we kept driving down 47 going to work. And at that time, the plaza was basically empty.
Yeah.
The nail place was there. The lady that had the essentials place at the end. And I think the boutique had maybe just started to try to get going. Then we kept driving by and we're like, man, it's just completely empty. There was King Edward's Chicken was in the spot we're in now, and it was like there was a food place there. It didn't work out. It was more recession related than anything at the time, and
Well, that was their second location, I think they put out there. Yeah.
right there in 2009 before everything crashed, and it just didn't work out for them. So we just kept driving by, and Rich's like, well, let's go take a look. So we go look inside, and I don't know, it looks like a building.
Yeah, the left side or the seven or eight,
Where the
nine.
dining room is now
Was empty.
It was a rock floor. Hadn't
Yeah.
been finished. They had never rented it out. And so there was a number on there to call, to call the landlord or whoever. And we're like, we want to come inside and take a look. And go inside and take a look. And I'm looking around. I'm like,
I know. And my creative, I love like figuring out.
She
like,
could envision what could go there.
Yeah.
I'm a little more abstract, and I'm not a solid. I'm a paint by numbers kind of guy. It has to be there for me to see it.
and I started taking my tape measure out. I was like, let me get just measurements, go home, and I started drawing on graph paper what could be there if they did X, Y, and Z. And then we're like, we could actually maybe make this work. And I think it was from the time we had that meeting to 8 months later, we had a restaurant already built, made, and ready to go.
August to March.
Yeah.
Wow.
All came together super fast. Yeah, and we're talking water pipes had burst, part of the ceiling had to be redone. They had to pour the concrete in the dining room side. They had to, drywall the dining room. There was a lot of work that had to be done.
Yeah.
And it all came together super fast.
And it worked out because I was supposed to stay at my job for like a year afterwards to just make sure the income's coming in, because we know a restaurant doesn't make any money the first couple years.
Yep.
But the first few weeks we were pretty overwhelmed, and at my company I was getting pulled too many different directions. So I made the decision to give them 4 weeks notice, and decided to jump in with both feet and say, let's just try to make this thing work. So with how old was Brady at the time?
Let's see.
It was 5 years ago, so about 15 years ago.
14 or 15.
15-year-old, and like, hey, sorry, we're not going to come to your practices anymore. You're going to have to, we're going to have to take you there, drop you off, and figure it out from there. But thankfully, he got his license pretty quickly after.
And then that first year was, a lot of ups and downs. Every restaurant goes through it, and we didn't even make it to 1 year, and then COVID hit, and then
right.
we were both like, we honestly at that time we weren't we didn't even know what the pandemic was going to be like, but at the same time, people were talking about not leaving their house, period. I was like, how in the world are we going to stay afloat if people aren't going to be able to leave their house?
We just started getting notice, and it was right at the 1 year. It was a couple weeks before the 1 year mark, and we're like, I don't know if we're going to survive this. This is going to be really troublesome because we're going to get shut down, and we're not going to be able to make any bills. So,
and it will test your faith.
Yes, it will.
Like nothing you'll ever know about. And we had just got online ordering started, and I wasn't against online ordering. I was just like, I don't like new things. She has to bring something to me 10 different times and explain it to me 10 different ways to sell me on it. And I wish I was a little less rigid about things, but you are who you are. And it's just the way it is. And so finally we figured out the online ordering. It looked a lot more difficult than we thought it was, but it was really just telling your POS system that you want to push your menu online. And so that's basically all it was. And we just kind of started to get the word out about online ordering. And we'd gotten a little busier because of online ordering, but it wasn't, changing the world at the time. And then when COVID hit and we had to close our dining room on Friday the 13th.
A week before
our 1 year anniversary. We had a whole party. Rachel had this whole party planned out like it was going to be awesome. And then no dining room, no nothing. And then a few of the other kind of sit down places in Troy, they couldn't really figure out a way to keep their dining rooms open, and they didn't have any online ordering. And then the next thing you know, it was like fireworks went off.
Well, we figured out how to pivot pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those things that this is not going to work. What can we do? And a lot of the other restaurants, gotta love them, they do a great job in general, but they've been around for a while. Well, we're a brand new restaurant. We can change things up fast because people don't really know what we are, who we are yet. So it was easy to go, okay, let's do curbside. Yeah. We have a whole parking lot empty that we can just run your food out to you. Let's just close the dining room, put all the to-go boxes. We're going to have a to-go box set up in there, and we'll just have the workers do carry out. And, we'll bring it to your window. You don't even have to come in. You can, pay online, and that's that. And that actually probably got our word out. That's probably the turning point where we got noticed.
Yeah. And we went from, I think the slowest we were right before COVID, I'll never forget this Tuesday. I don't know why. It was a Tuesday. We did 36 tickets the entire day.
Wow.
From 11 to, I think we were open until 9 then too. And it was probably that day I was like, man, you can't survive, on 36 tickets a day. And then
I think I cried bad that day because I was not sure, like, what did I do? I just gave up a 6-figure job to do 36 tickets. Like, this is not good for our family. But
and then I think one of those first Fridays, I think we did, it's like 187 tickets or something.
Yeah, you guys had a wait that was, you guys were swamped with the online. I remember talking to Casey being like, dude, that was so cool they got that because you guys got it like ironed out at the last second. Yes. I've got photos on Facebook to pop up memory still of me like out front, like you guys had the parking lot, because that was before I was even in that plaza full. Because you guys pivoted so quick there, and that really was a big turning point.
And we had to figure out, how to do online orders when they came in. People were calling still, and you had to figure. Basically, we had just a piece of paper, and we had like 10-minute blocks. And so we just told the girls, I was like, you can fill the, like $60 orders every 10-minute block, and just fill it in. And when you run out of space, just tell them it's going to be this time, or it's going to end. It was an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute wait, and people were like, okay. Like, I got to get dinner, and I got to get it from somewhere, and I don't want to go to...
Can't go to a store because stores were emptied out. And
no food to cook and, nowhere else to eat. So it's just like, we're just going to stay here, and we're going to pound out orders till we're done.
Yeah.
So HoneyBadger, now when I look up HoneyBadger on my phone, that's all that pops up is your guys' restaurant because I order online all the time. But where did the whole idea of HoneyBadger Grill come from?
Is that me too?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So this was right around the same, maybe a year or two earlier. Our son was playing indoor flag football up at Tri-County, and they needed a team name. And I was like, I'm not creative. That's the other thing. Like, I'm creative with the menu and stuff, but like abstract creation is just not really my deal. And so I told them, I was like, you guys come up with your own team name. And so one of them was like, have you seen the HoneyBadger video? I was like, I had no idea.
And at the time, I hadn't seen it either. And honestly, Brady was like 10 years old.
11 years old.
So I had not seen it either, and I wish I would have seen it before they came out with the HoneyBadger name. But anyways,
So I hadn't seen it in there. They're like, oh, we want to call ourselves the HoneyBadgers. I was like, well, I like Googled HoneyBadger and saw what it was, a little, weasel-looking guy, and they eat cobras. And it's like, oh, that seems pretty cool. We can do that. I had no idea. I guess have you guys seen the video? The HoneyBadger video on YouTube?
I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
It's this guy, and he's narrating this HoneyBadger.
It's the Australian guy that does all the narrations. It was
and
big.
He's narrating this HoneyBadger, fighting mongooses and fighting cobras, and he keeps saying this HoneyBadger doesn't give a bleep. And so then once I had seen the video, I was like, well, maybe I should have censored that a little bit for what my kids are watching, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
and,
it
yeah,
happens.
because he didn't bleep it. He said
and
it.
so so like we want to be the HoneyBadgers. So then they were the HoneyBadgers, and me and Rachel were trying to come up with restaurant names.
We could not think of
couldn't think of anything
anything.
that would stick. We didn't want to call it,
Jack
Pelle's
Pelle's.
Cafe
We're not an
or-
Italian restaurant at all.
Didn't want to name it after Brady at the time. And
Well, I remember this day because we were sitting there and we were coming back and forth with names and stuff like that. And it was like a few hours later, you came to me and it's like, I've got the perfect name, because I really wanted some kind of character. I wanted something that people can relate
Kind
to.
of a mascot looking.
Yeah, I wanted something fun. I didn't want a stuffy restaurant. And he comes in and goes,
hear me out.
hear me out. Exactly what you did. You go, hear me out. And I was like, what? And he goes, HoneyBadger. I don't know what. It was like, I got the biggest grin. I was like, I kind of like it. I think that's what the name is going to be. So
So then, we just kind of went with HoneyBadger Grill. We got with like a graphic designer. I don't know if you can see it on her shirt very well, but he designed
his
little
name's
HoneyBadger
Hunter.
guy with the chef's hat on, Hunter, the HoneyBadger, and we just we got with the sign company, and things just kind of start rolling. When you get a business, you just kind of just keep putting the little pieces together.
And like you said, we do want to do a lot for the community and stuff. So our little twist on it was, I don't want people going reading too much and saying this HoneyBadger doesn't give a bleep, because we do care.
Yeah.
We want to care. So the whole slogan is, this HoneyBadger gives a bleep. We obviously bleep ours out, though, for family restaurant. We don't want any kids like our son's age looking at or hearing about the real reason why we have the name. But
It's a great play on it, though. It's perfect.
so it worked out.
Yeah.
I do like the HoneyBadger or Hunter, the HoneyBadger, and we try to even do little cartoons at the beginning. It didn't work out very well. I need a cartoonist to do one of those, but
Some animation.
yeah, do some animation. But so that's how it came.
Yeah, well, it really does stick out. I mean, it's like a household name at Boyer Academy, because all of us up there get HoneyBadger all the time for dinner.
Yes, you do.
So
we appreciate it. Appreciate it so much.
So it really does stick out. So that's really
Yeah, we'll be doing something. I'll be like, man, I don't go home till 8 o'clock. Her and I'll make eye contact across the room, like, oh, it smells really good right now.
So he needs a buffalo chicken quesadilla.
Yeah.
Well, we in the morning we cook bacon every single morning. We cook, and every once in a while I'll cook cookies. And our cook Kara, she's like, "Oh my God, are you doing cookies today?" Because bacon and cookie combination like makes the whole restaurant smell amazing. And it's like, yeah, we're cooking cookies today. And then everybody's hungry for the whole day until we can eat lunch or whatever. So totally get the smell.
Yeah, I always tease everybody when we talk about food around town. They're like, "Oh, you got HoneyBadger in the Plaza by Dojo." I'm like, "Do you know how rough it is just to get from my van into the gym some nights, because the smell wafting through the plaza, it's like that smells really good." It's great. What's been great though is how you guys have developed it, and the logo, the name, how it all fits, and then keeping the menu fresh. I think I got really into watching Restaurant Impossible for years. I loved all those where they break down the businesses. And even though I'm not a numbers person, I really like it now after owning businesses and seeing like really how hard it is, and how, a shift in your materials or your food cost or whatever, like little shifts here and there can really be an upset. So then seeing restaurants and seeing the numbers for any business like that, it's always interesting. And how you guys have kept the menu fresh and made the changes, because I know we've talked before with your at one point the chicken breast or for the patties were like cute, like you guys got like these ginormous ones in or something at one point. Like little things like that can really throw a curveball.
Yeah.
Maintaining consistency and stuff has been huge. It's truly, you can tell, a passion thing for you guys. Do you ever think about doing anything else like having a second business or doing something? I know you guys do catering,
Yeah.
right?
So we've nothing outside of food. We've talked about food trucks. We've talked about catering. Catering's kind of been my passion this past few years. We did dabble in the ice cream. It just there's other places that are doing it better than us, and we're happy with what we're doing at the restaurant. But I think for us really is sticking with what we know and how well we can do it. So the food aspect, definitely trying to get out there and name more for catering, and we do stuff that we don't do at the restaurant for catering. We do pasta, and I did a charcuterie table for a wedding, and we're trying to get out there and not just be HoneyBadger food, but HoneyBadger food on steroids, or
Nice.
HoneyBadger food 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, or we'll pick up events at like the Pumpkin Patch, or we're doing the One at Breeze Gift in October at North Road, and we're just gonna try to see what we can use, that we already have at the restaurant, but do something a little different, make it a little more, enticing for people that are, that walk up foot traffic for food. It's like its own little like genre.
Yeah.
You have to have something that like draws them in, other than just your normal burgers, fries.
Well, and being able to get out there.
Yeah.
Being able to get out there is so important in communities like ours. I don't think it is everywhere. I've had a lot of discussions with people that were in bigger areas, but being able to get out there and be around them, whether it is setting up a booth or doing this or that, it's going to still bring that foot traffic because and I know you guys get it too. People come in, they're like, oh, I've never ate here before. It's like, really?
all the time.
Like I get people all the time, like, never heard of Boyer Kendal. I'm like, really? Man, I spent a lot of money on advertising.
You're like, how long have you lived in Troy? My whole life.
Yeah.
I didn't go that long and never just even make it. Like some people be like, I didn't even know you were over here.
Yeah, I get that
And
too.
if you just don't ever leave town, I guess on that side, like I get
We're
it,
not
I
that
guess.
far out. The
Yeah.
plaza's not that far from town.
And getting out to like events and stuff, it's great because we went to the pumpkin patch, and I still remember this lady. She is a customer of ours, and she comes up, she goes, I saw you guys have coleslaw. Please, 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 please save me coleslaw. And everybody else heard around her, and they started asking her if our coleslaw's any good. She's like, oh my God, don't eat all the coleslaw, but yes, they're amazing. I'm like, okay. So we don't have to explain our coleslaw, because our coleslaw is a little different than other restaurant coleslaw. We do a mixture of the mustard, the mayo, and vinegar, so it's not the same, but it's just kind of nice to get out to the events, and we will add or change just a little something just to give them something different than what you can go 5 minutes down the road and go get at our restaurant. So we'll do hot dogs or brats or other, I don't know,
Chicken salad.
chicken salads, yeah. So other things that we do.
At Eagle Fork, I was there when you guys had a little place set up, and I was with a few other family members who live a little farther out, but they've never had HoneyBadger before, and I was like, this is the place I want to go. So we all went there, and they were like, it's like a good in between from like your fast food, like your chains, and then like a sit down restaurant. So it's like they were talking about how it's a good in between. It's still good food, you still get it fast, but it's not like it's
It's not greasy
just like
fast food,
it's not McDonald's where you go through the 5-minute drive-through and you don't really know where the food's from.
Right.
So they were talking about that and just how, and that was the first time I saw you guys like out somewhere else for me, just because that's the first time I was like out in Eagle Fork or whatever. But how do you get new customers from like further out at those different locations or something like that?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when we have like tournaments and stuff like that. There'll be a baseball tournament or whatever, and one of the parents will mention us. Like they'll be like, "Where's a good place to eat?" And next thing you know, we got 10 baseball teams coming in at one time. It's like, okay, everybody get their A game on, So it's a good way to get our name out there. And events are that same way. They're like, I'm here all the time visiting with family. I didn't even know you guys existed. And it's like, yeah, we're here. Come check us out. I'm going straight there after here. And I'm like, you just ate us. No, you're fine. We're going to go there for dinner now because it was that good. So it does bring in a lot more customers when we get our name out there.
And that goes back to having just the consistent product, the like the interesting name, the good reviews, all that. Because now if you go to like restaurants Troy, Missouri, and you Google it, we're almost the very first one on every page every time. And so if someone's from out of town and they're looking, like if something catches their eye right off the bat, then that's probably what they're going to do.
Yes.
So that's really where you want to be in like the internet experience. We're trying to get like guests that are in your area at that particular point in time. Like if they're just Googling restaurants and they're going to be like passing through, they might not see it. But if they're specifically looking for somewhere to eat in Troy or Lincoln County or whatever, then we're almost always going to pop up first.
And it's interesting too because I had somebody that was what do they call it? TripAdvisor person that they TripAdvise everything. She was like, "I'm going to TripAdvise you." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't think anything about it. I'm like, "Okay, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. You don't have to." But we don't do what a lot of other places do and put a lot of money into Google ads and all that stuff. Honestly, I just don't know enough about it, and I don't think we need it because we are always on the top of the list. So I think the word of mouth has really, the people that do give Google reviews, thank you. Everybody that gives a Google review, positive ones. We do appreciate it because that is our advertisement. It's not, it's not us trying to bump up the SEO or anything like that. It's really all of our customers giving us.
Well, and having
reviews.
organic ones too is important. I know when we travel for tournaments and we'll all be huddled up somewhere trying to figure out where to go eat. Like that's probably about 80% of tournaments for us is trying to figure out where to eat.
From the moment we get there, we try to figure
Like
out.
the first when we travel, that's the first thing I worry about is like where are we gonna eat, and that's when I use TripAdvisor if we're going to like a huge city and I'm trying to figure out like what area we're gonna be in and what's good right there. I like TripAdvisor in Lincoln County is just, it doesn't have the same.
No, not as like Chicago.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But when you go into some of them, you're like fake review. So it's nice when you pull something up in their actual real reviews.
Right.
I try to share ours for the different businesses and stuff and remind parents to go in and throw one up for the Academy because it is real and people see that and they can see when it's authentic. I think we're to a point with the internet world that you see when it's fake. Mm-hmm. But that's what we do anytime we're traveling because we try to find something different, try not to just go to a mainstream place. But sometimes with the tournaments and our schedules, we're just lucky to eat. Sometimes it's like, well, this place this'll work. But like she said, you guys have done so well with it's not fast food, but it is fast. But it's not, this is going to be an hour and a half of a sit down restaurant, glass of water. Like it's such a great in between. It works so well.
And all of our food is made that day. It's
not
like, we're not turning over something that's a frozen patty or anything like that. All of our patties are hand pattied every day. All of our pork is cooked and sitting to get
ready.
Soft or ready, whatever you call it. Everything we try to do when we created the restaurant, the biggest thing was we do have fryer foods, but I didn't want it to be a fast food fryer.
All fryer, just boom, boom,
We didn't want to be like have our, not to knock like Qdoba or Chipotle because I love those places, but like their steak and their chicken, it's already like ready in the steam well, and they're just steaming it out, so they're able to move a lot faster. So like I get that. Like a lot of our wait time for being busy just comes from the fact that we want to cook everything fresh, and it's a little different. Like if we're really busy and I'm having the girls tell the customers it's going to be a half-hour wait, that's a 30-minute wait to order your food right this second and get your food. I'm not telling you it's going to be, it's not 30 minutes to get a table. 10 minutes to have someone come get you your drinks, and then 30 minutes to still wait for your food. So, I mean, I feel like usually if we're over like 25-minute wait, that's when I start telling the girls about how long it's going to be. Because I feel like 30 minutes kind of that breaking point where someone might decide if that's too long to wait for dinner or not. But I also feel like it's a reasonable amount of time, especially on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon when we're our busiest.
A fresh meal though.
Yeah.
It's fresh. It's you guys are making it, then it's not coming up wrapping it. Here you go. That makes a big difference. I know with me, I don't like to eat out, but if we do, it's like, okay, what can we get that's it's not even to worry about calories or anything else. What can we get that's gonna be fresh and good? Like there's nothing worse than going somewhere, spend your money, and then you're like, oh, I could have just cooked at home.
Right.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. It is amazing how the fast food has slowed down too. So like you go to a fast food place, you could be sitting in line, or they go to have you go pull up somewhere and you're sitting there for 20 minutes. Well, at that time you could have gone and actually had a decent meal.
Yeah.
Sorry, fast food places.
I'm guilty of that too. I hate to sit in a drive-thru or anything like that for any of those places. How I did it when I was younger, I don't know. COVID ruined me on going inside too. Mm-hmm. Casey's always like, can we please go sit down at a restaurant? I'm like, why? We could get it to go. We could take it home. No one's going to bug me. She's like, I'm like, dude, seriously, I can walk down and walk back to my van. I got HoneyBadger. Like, what What do you mean? Like, we went somewhere and we went in and sat down. I'm like, oh, so terrible. COVID ruined me on that. I loved bringing everything home.
I'd rather not sit down most days because I hate how cold it is in most restaurants. We try to keep ours not too freezing, but I go and walk in. We just went to, where did we go? Popeyes. And I literally ordered my food and went and stood outside before the food got there because I couldn't stand it. It
was that cold?
So cold. I was like, and he was even cold. And you're never cold.
It was chilly for sure.
But yeah, so I'm guilty of that too. I'd rather just grab it and go if I could.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, well, we can do that. I can jump on the laptop at the house, get something knocked out or whatever, get some work done while we're sitting hanging out than just sit somewhere and, kids color a picture or something. It's like, do.
Yep.
It works out. It works out really nice. And one of the things that's really cool too, like you said, you're making it fresh. Like, one of the hard things I think that we all have to learn with being in business too is, where are we going to be in the business? Are we going to be this one that tries to satisfy everybody and wants to be like a Starbucks and have locations everywhere? Or are we going to, cater to the customer? Like, what's our ideal customer? Are we going to cater to the customer, wants something fresh, doesn't mind waiting a little bit, wants to support a small family-owned business, like, what are we looking for? Like, that was one of the things as I scaled Boyer Painting. Like, I got to a point I run into people, I had no clue who they were. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you paint my house. I didn't know who they were. I didn't like that. And most people would tell me I'm an idiot for that, but I didn't like that. I like seeing people that I did work for. I train their students and I know them. Like, that's what I've learned. Like, that's my alley. And I think you guys have found that with what you're doing. This is what you want and how you want to do it. You're not trying to, the people that want the instant chicken nuggets, that's not the client you're going for.
No, and we get that all the time where people were like, is this a franchise or are you going to make it a franchise? There's only two of us.
Yeah.
If we can't be in there, it's just not going to work because it's not how we have it set up. So we're happy with the one and then doing the little side things like catering and everything else. So it's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So I've always said with the academy too, with the school, with the way it's logoed and everything, people are like, would you ever? I'm like, no. Maybe like if, like, say she went away to school and came back and said, you know what? I think I want a school. Then there'd be something there.
Yeah.
For Ben and Jocelyn want to do something, but I've always kind of been the same way to where it's like, I really wouldn't want I've had friends that built up businesses and they liked being the guy or the girl running all the businesses. They like being that person. I don't want to be that person. I like going in and teaching. Stacy works the desk. We go out and teach kids. Like, I enjoy that part of it. And I don't even like the beginner classes with the 4-year-old white belts. Like, I love doing that still. I don't want to just be at the desk collecting people's money. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather just go back to work for someone else before I did that.
And that's kind of how we are too, because there'll be days that, like this morning, where I'm supposed to be doing paperwork or doing business stuff, and I'll just walk over to the kitchen. You guys need my help? You guys need my help, right? Do you guys need my help? No, we're good. We're good.
She
we're
needs
good.
a break from what she's
doing. I need a break, and I need to get back in and get my hands into cooking again or something like that. So yeah, I think I found a love for just getting in there and being a part of it, not on the sidelines and watching.
No, it's great. I found that too with painting. Like, I've been going out and jumping on some of the job sites with the guys. I just like what I do. I like doing it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Most people are like, oh, it's terrible. You should be doing this or working on this software. I'm like, no, I just went and painted. It was a fun job and they could use the help. So I went over and kind of conducted it. Cause if we take a larger crew to something, that's not what a foreman's always able to kind of, 2 or 3 guys are all pretty comfortable with, but I took 7 to 1 on the other day. That's not something that takes somebody that's got a lot of experience with lots of people.
Yeah.
So,
if you would have told us 6 years ago that I was going to be the one in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And like, there's no way. And that he would be the more creative one on the Facebook and everything like that. I would have been like, no way. You would have been behind the grill. I would have been in the office and just plugging away at numbers and stuff. And that would have been how it was. But now, like you said, I actually love doing what I do. Yeah. I actually want to cook. And, we get hot and stuff like that. But I still enjoy it every day, even if I get frustrated because something's not right. But
yeah. Well, and I think we touched on a little bit earlier too on the marketing thing. It's so different in our area as far as, like you said, we don't have to hound Google or stay on top of, like you said, TripAdvisor, some of those. Like, I've got different ones for the businesses that it's more that organic, being at the events, going to stuff, whether it's just going to the fair with your shirt on, you know, your business shirt on, or going to a local chamber meeting, whatever, like that stuff really goes far out here. When I tell some of these different people I work with that are in their 20s, they're in a city area and they're building up business or whatever, and I'm like, I don't need to know the next big catchphrase for an Instagram video for Boyer Academy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessary for where we're at. So what is it that you found? Like, what is one thing, like, I know going out and being around the public and stuff works, but what's like one thing that you found really worked well for you guys?
From a, like a marketing
Yeah,
standpoint?
just for our marketing. There's just something that maybe you guys did that was like a great standout event. I know I put you on the spot with that one.
That's
Probably
good.
the online ordering, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was probably the biggest. I mean, I hate to say COVID actually helped us, but it did. Because
It blew me up too. Yeah.
It was nice to get our name out there. Everybody was on Facebook. Everybody, and with him doing daily post, Facebook daily post is a huge reason. People are actually waiting for that.
Yes. No, for
Especially
sure.
for the
That's
day.
your
Definitely
daily
a
post is
timing
great.
issue. It's like I try to do it every day at 9:30 because I was talking to a buddy of mine. He owns a pizza truck down in St. Francis County. He's like, I put it out every day at exactly 9:30.
Yeah, there's a thing to be said about that. My coaching coach has me do that with a lot of stuff. I have to do everything exact. He's like, I don't care what time, same time every single freaking day, because humans are such creatures of habits.
And people start thinking about lunch around that time. And then if it pops up, like, oh, that looks good, and then you're off and running, and then just getting it out to as many different avenues as you can.
Well, and I think that's something people don't talk about too with COVID. There's a lot of pivoting that went on during that made a lot of us stronger. I literally had people toss me the keys to a house while I was mowing. I was like, just go paint it. I was like, do you want a bid? Nope. I got to head down to the Capitol. Randy Peitzman did that for a house he's building on my street. He's like, just paint it. I'm like, call you for colors. Paint's in the living room. Okay. I was like, I can't even mow the grass without people stopping. There are things you said, but I remember when you guys did the online, you literally, there were nights that you guys would hit a spot where you couldn't take any more orders.
Yes.
I remember just going, I remember thinking from the outside looking in that you guys must be busier now than ever. But you pivoted and you were able to do it. When I worked for Jiffy Lube, we had a store, I believe it was in Washington, Missouri. They closed the other two oil change places. Okay. Well, the manager at that store hired more people. He took accountability and he exploded his store. He was the dude to just kill it in that market. And everybody's like, well, other stores closed. And it's like, well, yes, they did, but he didn't just sit on his rear end and shake his head and go, I don't know what to do. He acted on it.
You're right.
You guys acted on it. So many businesses acted on it, and you've seen a lot of them just go, uh-oh, what do we do? And they fell under.
Yes, they did. And there's still people going under now, just because
Yes.
of the fallout from it. And, after COVID, a couple of years after COVID, it was the prices started skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And that's when you're kind of like, you can't just double your cost on everything or price and everything, because no one's going to understand that, so like chicken wings, for example, we just had to get rid of them. It just wasn't cost effective. We were going to have to charge like $20-something just for an order of chicken wings.
Yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't make sense for anybody, because no one's going to order, and then they're going to think we're price gouging and all this stuff. So let's just pivot and do boneless wings. And now we're with them because everybody loves boneless wings. So we decided,
Adult chicken nuggets, gotta love them.
Yeah.
Hey, when boneless wings came out, I was the dude who's like, give me the boneless ones. Everybody's like, where are you getting the boneless ones? I'm like, because there's no bone, there's no
Yeah,
meat.
you
Like,
don't have
I was all for it. I'm like, why didn't they have these before? But I was like, they're chicken
And we
nuggets.
just kind of had to refine some of our procedures. Like,
Yeah.
how can we go from doing, if we're busy, 20 tickets an hour, how can we do 30 tickets an hour? Instead of trying to necessarily just raise all the menu prices, let's try to get more people in the door.
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody's getting in and out within a reasonable time so that they come back. So it's like, all right, well, let's make the fries thinner so we can cook them faster. And then, because that's really
that's
where a
that.
lot of
Yeah.
our being backed up all came from, we can only have
Fries.
so many orders of fries in the fryer because they're fresh cut and they take as long as they take.
It makes sense.
And our
It makes a lot of
kitchen's
sense.
only so big, it's not like we can add another fryer. That's just not going to happen.
No, for you guys to
Completely
expand
maxed
your
out.
kitchen would be a ginormous undertaking.
Yeah. And we
Some people don't realize that too. Like, why have they just add a bigger kitchen? It's like, yeah, okay, $100,000 to start.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, trust me. When COVID was going and the school was like super full, everybody's like, you just need to double your location size. I'm like, cool. The only, and at the
So
time,
go where with it? Like,
well, that was the thing. The only thing available was what's now $1 or Five Below. That was, that'd be $6 or $7 grand a month for that place. And I was like, well, maybe if Sarah and I work something out, we put some gym equipment in. Like I went up and tried to see if that could work, but they have less parking spots than we do.
Yeah.
I went up and counted. That was literally what I drove around town doing, because people would throw me ideas and I'd go count parking spots, because I'm like, cool, the building may be bigger, but where do we put everyone? Like, that's going to be an issue too. And everybody just says it like it's just a, well, why don't you just, oh yeah, let me just.
Yeah.
Well, when
And that-
we first got the restaurant, we spent probably 2 weeks just looking at any empty spot on Main Street, because we knew location was key. And we knew not being in the center of town was going to be a
Yep.
problem, which it was at first. But there's no parking
Nope.
anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I did the same thing. There's
how
nothing.
does anybody survive in these really congested places? And that's when we decided, let's just create it our own self. But the only thing I wish we did have was a bigger kitchen, because we went from a 36-inch grill to a 60-inch grill, because we just knocked out our burners.
Got rid of the stovetop.
We didn't really use them during the day, and I was like, okay, we got brand new stove and everything. Let's just go ahead and get rid of it and get a bigger one, and that will help us at least somewhat. And it did. So we were able to go a little faster, and that's how, like you said, we went from a 20-minute to a 10-minute turnaround kind of thing. So
That's awesome. Well, it's really cool. And I think people forget too, with small businesses, they get started because of an idea, and then we figure it out as we go.
yes.
I've had people, but one of our big things is the branding, follow the red trucks. Literally, there was a blue, a white, and a red truck. The blue truck had chrome trim. I was going to buy the white trucks. I'm a painter. And Casey's like, get the red one. I'm like, oh, red one's cool, but I'm a painter. I'm just going to get white. She's like, get the red one. Now everything's red. Yeah. It was literally because she said, buy the red truck. And I was like, whatever. Okay. Cause the blue one had some old man chrome on it. Cause I was going to get this like really cool blue Colorado and the chrome around the window. So I was like, we'll get the red one. Everybody's like, oh, that's just so great. Your marketing and the red. And I'm like, yeah, it was an accident. Really and truthfully, it was not planned out. Yeah. But there's so much of that with businesses. Even when you listen to books with like Gary Vee and different ones, these guys, they don't have think tanks figuring all this out. It's just somebody with a dream making the adjustments. Whereas some people just shut down at that. Other people make the adjustment, make it happen. Yeah. You guys could have been like, oh my gosh, we're on our first year and COVID hit. I guess we're done, and give up, or you kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask also, have you been in the restaurant industry all your life? No, we met in the restaurant industry, but no, we haven't been. But I don't know what book I read, but the author was talking about how the best restaurant owners are people that have never been in the restaurant industry, because they're not set in their ways. Yeah. And I think that's what most of our success came from, is that we are okay with suggestions, and we're okay with pivoting and changing stuff up, not because it's always been this way, this is how I learned, this is how I was trained. Okay, this isn't working today. Let's see if we can change it a little bit and adjust. So I think that has a lot to do with how we've made it work.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. You got any questions here at the end?
Nothing.
I don't want to cut you off. I've
never
been around Kendal this quiet. Anybody watching this could be like, whoa. So, well, we appreciate you guys coming on. And as always, man, thank you for everything you guys do in the community. What are ways everybody can find you other than driving to the restaurant?
Well, if you want to find us at the restaurant, it's 10 Oakley Plaza in Troy. Online, you can go to honeybadgergrill.com. That's where our online menu is. There's a way to get in there from Spot On as well. That's our POS system. We're on Facebook, Honey Badger Grill on Facebook. That's pretty much the ways to find us. Can I plug the poker tournament one more time?
Yep.
So it's August 11th. We're going to start at 2:30.
2:30 is the playtime. Get there at 2 so you can get signed in.
Yep.
And we will, it's for anybody that even has an interest in poker. If they want to learn it, come see me. I can teach you in 20 minutes and go
We're
from
just
there.
really just doing it for a good cause and to have some fun. We're going to most likely have a limited menu that we're actually going to make food that day. We'll do like a limited menu. So you can, if you just want to come and eat and hang out, that's an option too. And we're trying to work on a couple other things to make it a little more interesting, but it's definitely something you should come check out.
Yeah, and if you do come play at the poker tournament, you'll get a free meal. If you're not playing a poker tournament, we're trying to set up something outside so you can eat and
cool.
hang out and listen to possibly some music. We're still working all that out, but
Awesome.
another ideal to bring in people that maybe have a fear of poker, come hang out with us still.
Yeah, just see it, check it out.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys being on. Thank you guys for tuning in, checking it out. Make sure to check out HoneyBadger Grill and all the great things they're doing and their amazing food. And until next time, have a great one.